In today's episode of How Can I Play a Sonic Game in the Opposite Way That the Lord Intended, we are going to take on every rival within the race park in CrossWorlds without ever equipping a gadget. Now, gadgetless CrossWorlds was once an ancient Scottish torture method used only when one had committed the most heinous of crimes. It was abolished in the early 1900s, but I decided to take a history lesson last month and try it in a Grand Prix against a max level rival. Now, we're taking it a step further and doing it in race park, so there's multiple rivals this time, and it's not just me suffering today. Hi, I'm Snack, and if you don't know me, I love to make challenge videos on Sonic games. I've done a couple of CrossWorlds challenges already. Big thank you to everyone who supported my last video, and for helping me reach 3,000 subscribers. And quite frankly, I've been having loads of fun making these videos. So let's do another. In our last gadgetless challenge, we adopted a sort of Nuzlocke system where we couldn't repeat a rival, a cup, or a character type that we were already successful with. Well, let's go over today's rules. There's 8 teams, 8 cups, but 6 game modes. Each game mode must be beaten once. 3 races per team, 3 tracks per cup, so we must do every single cup, no repeating stages. Per team, we must switch character types for each win, with our usage resetting once we fully beat the team, and we can't use the same character type as our teammates. Yes, that's right, I'm not alone this time. I'm joined by my good friend who literally goes by Funny Guy online, as well as rotating in some of my friends in the chat to help out as we needed. We also made a rule that our squad cannot exceed the amount of rivals we have against us in the set. Make sense? No? It's okay. I'll explain it as we go. Let's do this. So Team Rose get the Defensive Upgrade gadget set, which is Damage Support Kit, Defense Item Chance Up, and Handling Tuner 1. So their build was about as effective as ours. Literally complete ass. Damage Support Kit combines the abilities of Second Wind and Start, so ideally, we didn't want to knock them off the track, but they would be in for about the first lap anyway, so that wasn't an issue. So we took on Team Rose on Double Team Dash, and to be honest, this was not difficult at all. We took on the races for Boom Boo Cup since none of those stages were particularly hard, and weren't very complimentary for Team Rose's builds. We were behind for the majority of the race, but with the Frenzy and the CrossWorlds, it was so easy to play the objective, which was the only reason we won first place. I used Sage and Funny Guy used Werehog, so it was time for a switch up. I took Zavok in Super Shining, as we know how powerful that is, and Funny Guy took Metal Sonic in the B-Dasher. Apotos has hardly any boost panels, so this was a terrible choice. There was seemingly always a frenzy for the CrossWorlds though, which was where most of the objective was going to come from. Thankfully, with poor placement towards the end, we both got drills and managed to take over most of the opponent, so placement put it all down to the objective score alone. For the final race, we chose SpongeBob and Teto, and headed into Wonder Museum. A good part of the team modes is that you will often start far at the back, so whenever you manage to get a team boost, you can take whatever shortcut you want since the boost lasts a really long time. It made the end of the race free, and we won before the bonus was even given. 1 team down. We brought in my bud Badass Knight to face Team Dark, who use Attack Item Chance Up, Giant Rocket Punch, Short Fuse, Item Attack Bounty, and Start. Going for double team attack was going to be very inconvenient for this, so that's the one we chose to take on. We were Teto, Joker, and Sonic for the first race in Urban Canyon. I started with 3 red rockets, but they would be worth holding off using for a while. Towards the end of the first lap is when you want to start attacking. Item frenzies were the worst thing to have, since the chances of Team Dark just getting loads of rockets and bombs would be so high in the CrossWorlds. Generally speaking, this item attack mode would be better in teams of 4 like it is in festivals, since it's really easy for your items to collide with teammates if they run down the middle. We did win the first race, without needing the bonus. It was fun, but I do have to say it was quite chaotic. So heading into Market Street with Metal Sonic, Werehog, and Chow, we aim to win just by placement again, as it would prove more reliable than playing the objective, as Team Dark are a lot more likely to get hits. The problem with items colliding with teammates persisted throughout the races, and even with a monster truck at the end, I didn't even hit anyone at that point, but we still got the win without the objective, and Shadow just didn't launch an item, apparently. And choosing Infinite, Sonic, and Vector went to Coraltown for the final race, and I'll give you some advice now. If you are mentally ill enough to attempt this challenge yourself, do not go for the skip without a laser or a drill, because you simply don't have enough speed to make it consistently. Or maybe I'm just dog shit at it, which is a high possibility too. Funny Guy managed it and did great. BK and I, however, not so much.
You're all failures.
Heading into attempt 2 for this race, I learned that Dark Chow actually puts the counter up, but only by 1 regardless of how many people are affected. Thankfully, I did enough hits because I managed to DNF and have us end up only 14 points behind, so the objective finally contributed this time. 2 teams down. We grabbed the homie Splataverse for Team Chaotix, who run Dash Panel Bounty, 130 Ring Limit, Starting Ring Bounty, Ring Range Up, and Crossworld Bounty. Doing triple ring grab would be really inconvenient for this, so that's what we chose to do. Ring gathering would prove to be much easier on Dompa Grand Prix since the stages are super open. We chose Sonic, Zaz, and Monty Gator? And since this was a 4v4, it was a lot more difficult to get placement points, and since Team Chaotix were built for ring gain, yeah, you can see how well this went. I swapped to Egg Pawn, and we tried again. Collecting rings was going to be completely useless, so we had to just win by pure placement. I did try and collect some rings, but it turned out to be useless, given that Team Chaotix still got nearly double the rings we did. Next up, we chose Zavok, Infinite, and Xena on Rainbow Garden, and this was terrible. We got the best placement, but, we're broke. We're fucking poor. So, as it turns out, the best placement can still be better. Then we realised we have one built-in gadget for team games. Collision Boost, with only our teammates. And that did actually help us get a much better placement. Rings weren't going to help our objective, but timing the collection of them to when we needed a boost the most would be very effective as well. And that got us the win, with 16 more points than Team Chaotix. Just needed one more, which, The final race was absolutely not perfect, but at least we managed to keep Team Chaotix at 6th or below, which again, gave us a 16-point lead. Water Palace was definitely the hardest on Donpa, but hey, we did it. 3 teams down. Now, Team Eggman changes things, so we grabbed Spirit and Cyrus to help us out for this one for the 4v4. We opted for triple team tap. Team Eggman used a spin drift focus build alongside Collision Boost, Mini Ring Thief, and Power Tuner 1. Their increased Collision Boost would make tapping more efficient for them, but let's be real. Tap boosting is a conscious effort, and AI will simply never be capable of tapping the homies. Honestly, the tap boosting was really easy, and the race overall was really close, but the suspense was killed when Spirit said he got an achievement as soon as that race finished, which was the achievement for beating any rival at max level. On race 2, there was a King Boom approaching when I was at first, but last second targeted Wave, which was real lucky because given that I still got overtaken by everyone at the start of the last lap, I never would have recovered if I got hit by that. That one was literally free. Team Eggman are so ass at this, no wonder Eggman keeps losing. For the final race, we put together the most mismatched bunch of misfits together possible. Knights, Patrick, Creeper, and Teto. And this was genuinely so effective. We were all on boards, so it was easy to control to tap off each other, aside from the end when it was looking completely free, and then I got crushed back to 4th as soon as boost ended. Nice. 4 teams down. Yes! 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 So now that we're at Team Dimension stage, we weren't allowed to have any extra teamies for these since it's a 2v2, but we only have quick and extreme matches left. We actually tossed this decision a lot since Team Dimensions have Warp Ring Specialist, Extended Slips, and Speed item chance up, so they'd get Warp Rings a lot on Extreme Match, which would mean we'd basically never get the lead, so we went for Quick Match. We aren't actually a team this time around, so if either of us win, it'll count. Now, without the gimmicks from the team modes, this was actually a lot like our previous Gadgetless challenge, except now we have 2 rivals to face. It was definitely getting tough towards the end, but somehow got the greatest clutch in the world.
There's no way! There's no way!
I got a monster truck and crushed both of them right at the end. Please tell me I came second. Please tell me I came second. Yes! Oh my god! So I switched up to Zavok and Funny Guy to Eggpawn, which was looking awful for me for most of the race again, given that my only teammate was against me. I will never forgive you for this. Really? Wow, friendship ended with Funny Guy. The ops are my besties now.
I was in front of you. Get the fuck out of here again.
Thankfully, it was a close finish again, with me overtaking Eggman right at the end by slowing him with our tornado at literally the last few frames of the race. But I was not looking forward to Pumpkin Mansion. Now, we actually broke the rules for this one and didn't even notice until right at the end. Good thing the entire race was a fluke anyway. I really thought we would clutch up at the end again, but it was just impossible. Either way, we both picked acceleration characters, so we just had to lose and we'd be fine. Let's go again. Funny Guy swapped out to Infinite, so we just ended off Team Dimensions as the edgy kids duo. I got a really clutch item set in the first lap, and then we started dragging these nuts across your fucking face. But then the CrossWorlds curse hit. Oh no, so did I. On our actual attempt, we were in Holoska, keeping the Unleash theme up, and then had a worry that we were going to attack each other right at the end.
Kill each other.
The only reason you're saying that is because you see my shuriken.
I do see your shuriken.
And despite the absolute shafting I was put through, we still beat them. 5 teams down. The only game mode left was Extreme Match. Team Deadly 6 use only level 1 and 2 quick charge with Drift Charge Kit, so it's not got the most item synergy ever. We picked Zavok and Xena for the first match. Our reasoning for Blizzard Valley was that they would basically have technical drift, so knocking them aside would be easier, but it turned out that Extreme was so crazy that it was completely irrelevant anyway. And even as high as 2nd place, you will still get absolutely amazing items in the Extreme playlist. I still clutched a drill in the CrossWorld, and then had a laser for right at the end to avoid the boom boo. We just swapped characters for the race afterwards, and this was just more chaotic than the first. I got crushed by Funny Guy's monster truck at the end, and despite the setback, we still beat both the rivals without issue. For the final race, we picked Metal Sonic and Lanolin. Clearly this was a good choice, the race was still chaotic as normal, and Zaz and Zavok simply did not stand a chance. Really uneventful actually, to be honest. Anyway, 6 teams down. Team Babylon used both Ring Thieves, Air Trick Mastery, and Bounty. So since the game modes were reset, we made the smart choice of choosing Triple Team Ring Gain again. It was just the 2 of us at first, so we went in as Zavok and SpongeBob, and continued on the second to last cup, the Eggman Cup. Void Wisps and Omochals were really strong when going for rings, and so long as you stayed away from the rivals, they wouldn't be at an advantage, but despite all our efforts to get all the rings we could, we still got absolutely cooked in the first run. And as you can see, we had pristine team coordination. However, this race did go a lot better. There wasn't a whole lot of items flying around, especially during the CrossWorlds, so there was a decent opportunity for rings, but thankfully we didn't end up needing them too desperately. We had a draw with the orange team, and the rival team couldn't get enough points to catch up. To start off Aquaforest, we chose Blaze and Werehog. Things were looking good at first, our ring count wasn't the best, but our coordination was a lot better because we couldn't deliberately fuck each other over. The 100 rings was easy to get on this map, and we both went for it, but it just ended up being a fluke again, and somehow I managed to DNF. This is going great. And despite hitting the DNF, we would only have been 1 point away if we got the most rings, which, come on, be so for real, was never happening. So, Lancer joined us hoping a third person with an actual sentient brain would boost our chances of winning, which, as it turns out, the sentient brain count remained at 0 since we were still nowhere near winning. It was like a group of millionaires challenging a bunch of alcoholics and drug addicts for the most money, like, no shit we were going to lose. But, do drug addicts go a day without getting high just because they're broke? No, they make it happen. So just like that, we tried, and tried, and tried, and tried. There was no chance of winning if someone didn't get an early void. Sure, the ring count didn't mean much in the grand scheme of things, but it was good to go for just in case there was any shred of opportunity to manage. And for some fucking reason, I did a 360 to try and get the 100 rings, which was so not worth it, because I just ended up in a DNF yet again, and cost us the match when we could have, and I quote Funny Guy, easily won from placement when bro disconnected, like, fuck. The voices were not going to win. We would win, even if it killed us.
Us? This was your idea.
With support from the CrossWorlds Nuzlocke Monarch themselves, we logged the fuck back in and still failed. Despite amazing teamwork and getting the 100 rings, just having an absolute awful end to that particular race. You could sit there and think, there was a lot better choices for this instead of choosing ring grab mode, given that's what our rivals specialise in. It was looking impossible to get us out of this mess, a mess that I am entirely responsible for. But with good use of boosts, a terrible ending again, we finally won by 8 rings. The worst part, that wasn't even our last race. Oh, and I switched to Teto for that one. Funny Guy and I were absolutely twinning with the monster trucks at the start, but then we ended up with an awful finish at the end of the expo. Placement was rough, but somehow we got the points by more than 200 rings this time, and we eliminated Team Babylon after all that suffering. Fuck. So Team Sonic's whole shtick is that they love teamwork, right? Like, it's literally in the name. We can. Like, we. So surely they don't mind tapping each other, right? Team Sonic used Speed Machine Kit, Level 2 Quick Charge, and Double Boost Wisp. I'm not gonna lie, I see no benefit from this kit at all. They hardly specialise in anything, so to counter their Double Boost Wisps, we used Tap Boost. First up for North Star, we chose Blaze, Infinite, and Steve. Now the great thing about Tap Boosting is that it's so easy to time your team boosts, and with the Secret Cup having really good off-roads, this was just going to be peak, and I promise you, this was not planned. But Kraken Bay was a stupid choice, since we've completely separated mid-race and could hardly tap each other. Not like it held us back, the placement wasn't great, but then somehow it turns out Team Eggman just sucked at tapping, because how did they get that many? Second time around, we took more care in building up our taps, even if it was costing us placement, and then completely blitzed to the end on the final lap. And this worked a treat. We swapped out to Teto, Zavok, and Metal Sonic for Kronos Island. Kronos Island was straight up the easiest stage for this type of thing, so with strong shortcuts, timing our boost would make for a nutty end of the lap, saving us a laser wisp, which just got replaced by the frenzy anyway, so you can't have shit in Detroit when I swear. Placement was looking rough during the CrossWorld, but we managed to bring it back fairly well, and I used a really good King Boom and hit like a lot of people with it. And then did the same thing again, just a bit further down the track. Despite not having any form of boost, Garo and I took the shortcut anyway, and easily clutched up the second race without any worry at all. Well, maybe a little worry. Our last race was Rouge, SPO, and Chow. The first lap was as clean as it gets. Literally no damage. Good timing on the boost, and then the portal took us to the one stage that White Space should have had, but didn't. It was like the enemies just loved torture, because when I threw a Boom Boo yet again, it just seemed to hit everyone. My one thought towards the end was, Please do not fumble like that one time. That one time literally being the previous video. But with an absolute cinematic end, we won by being top 4 and the most taps, with the maximum 56 points possible. Case closed, all teams beaten. So let's ask the question, can you beat the entire race park in CrossWorlds without ever equipping a single gadget? Yes, you absolutely can. So to everyone struggling with the top of the line achievement, you no longer have any excuse. I wouldn't normally ask this of you guys, but please do me a favor, comment down below an absolutely horrible build to use in CrossWorlds, preferably a full gadget kit, vehicle, and character type. I've got an idea for the next video, and your input would be really helpful. This video took an incredibly long time to make, so any and all support is much appreciated. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more videos like this too. I don't really have much else to say now other than how blown away I am by the recent support on this channel. I was thinking it would be clutch to get to 3K before 2026 started, but we're already on the way to 4K, so thank you so much for everything you guys do. It only takes 2 seconds to hit subscribe, so if you made it this far, you might as well. Be sure to follow me on Twitch and join my Discord as well. I'm very active in those spaces. I'm in the Discord every day and stream 3 times a week, with some CrossWorlds, Rumble, code Snackpigeon by the way, and some speedruns too, so come hang out when you can, and you'll be able to join in on the fun. Big thanks to hweilla and Makon for the thumbnail, as well as to Funny Guy and to all my community members who helped out making this video possible. And of course to you guys for still watching until now. That's all from me. My name is Snack, and I'll see you in the next one.
It's a holy Sunday. Everyone grab your Bible. Everyone, grab your Bible. We're going to page 769.